and the quality, because in the agriculture you have some specificities of monitoring each fruit, each vegetable, pH, electroconductivity, etc. We speak about this quickly now. Why are we presenting today this topic? We think that we have to share this knowledge with our partners and potential partners, because agriculture in Europe is a huge market. It's more than 400 billion euros output. We're speaking of more than 9 million equivalent working units, so potentially 9 million workers or more. The IT and automatization of the sector is growing. So if you take just 1% of the markets dedicated to the IT, we're speaking of a $4 billion market for IT and automation. What we've done for our clients and what we have developed. So the first thing are the business-specific modules developed out of scratch, from scratch, sorry, in the Odoo framework. So we have the production module and the quality management module. The production is basically managing the interventions on the field, planning the field plantation, etc. Second level is what we have heavily customized, because we have a certain architecture of the company. It's human resources and finance. And finally, what we integrated, but we used pretty much out of the box, it's the purchase and warehouse management system and the sales and export. Let's start with agricultural production. The first thing we developed is repositories and the parameters configuration. What's specific in agriculture is to be able to have companies, sub-companies, farms, sub-farms. Then you have blocks or greenhouses. You have to know where you plant, etc., and optimize it. So these are all the parameters. You have to know all your machines, equipments. You have to have all your crops and varieties and cultures. And the products used to fertilize the soil, etc. So everything is put in a referential. I might skip the screenshots because we're running out of time, and we have a small video demo. The second thing is operations planning. So first thing is planning the way we will plant the areas. How we will share the plantation between the different varieties, and how we'll use the products on it. The second thing is the technical operations follow-up. Basically, is logging every operation every day. And this is done through the interventions section in the production model. Second thing we work on is quality management. Basically, there are two things. The first part is the programs of treatments that have to respect certain standards and norms. And the second thing is the physical worker intervention on the field that has to respect certain norms that are printed with each day with the intervention files. So it says if you want to go put some product, you've got to put your gloves and special shoes, etc. I might skip the other ones, but what is important to understand is that this architecture of having a company, sub-company, farm, sub-farm, block, etc., is integrated in all the models. So for example, in human resources, we have a complex payroll management because we need to map the work and the use of the equipment in each of these levels of tree. And we have also payroll in agriculture that is not monthly. It can be, for example, weekly or bi-weekly. In finance, for example, we have developed an analytical layer that is plugged on all the other modules, and with which the company can play to follow up very precisely its cost expenses. Procurement and warehouse is very interesting because we mapped the warehouse with the production model we've developed, so that, for example, you have an intervention today, you use a product, you know it's available, not available, you can purchase it, etc. We can see this later on. Just speaking about some physical interfaces, we developed web services mainly for the attendance system and for small devices for pH meter relevant. but we can adapt them for other connected objects, and with the IoT modules of V12, it will be much more easier. We've developed dashboards and KPI that are business specific, for example, harvest forecast or asset tracking, workforce cost follow-up, and you can follow up by company, by farm, by block, by plantation, etc. These are the main clients. There is Domaine DB, which is the multinational I was speaking of, and there is Porte du Sahara in Morocco. And there is DB Nour, which is a sub-company actually in the north of Morocco of Domaine DB, which is the multinational. So there were several projects, and now we are working to make the smart farm management system evolve with the help of our clients that know the business very well. Let's move to the small video. Okay, so here are the two models we've developed, production and quality, and the other models are out of the box. So in productions, you can manage the programs, fertilization programs, the energy follow-up. The intervention is very important, we'll speak of this. The transport, you can manage control, and you can manage all the configurations I was speaking of, meaning the cultures, the varieties, the farm types, the blocks, etc. Let's create a farm component. So we will create a block, for example. We have a farm, we will put a block, and we will link it to farm number 4. We will put, for example, a surface in hectares, put farm number 4, and save. We've created actually two, block 1, block 2, for the sake of the presentation. We can group them by, obviously, by sub-farms. Okay, so we have farm 4, and we will be able to see the blocks we have parameterized. It's very important for the planification to have these referentials, and it's very important to use them and to decide what parts of these areas we will be planting. So now we will create a plant, let's say, program. We select a block. We can specify an area that can be inferior to the area of the block, and we put the dates of, for example, here we will do plantation from now to next year, on 1 year. Some plantation take more or less. So now we have our programs of plantation, and we can see them in an agenda format. Now we will create the intervention files. The intervention files are created each day for the workers to go do some operations. So here you see all the intervention files, and they are linked to a farm, and they monitor 4 types of costs and linked to operations: HR, machines, products consumptions, and delivery of the harvest. So these are the 4 types of costs we will follow. We may put the date of the intervention, and you can say, I will, for example, as an HR charge, as a workforce charge, on block 1 and block 2, I will do some operation. Let's say I will use an €8 worker. Ouvrier, 87 dirhams, it's €8. For, let's say, 8 hours a day. So this work is done by the farm manager, and it is given to the workers either in a digital form, or, as you know, because a lot of workers don't know how to use IT, etc., you can also print and give them. So now we've created our task and cost place and intervention operation in the intervention of the day. we can add another one in that will consume some products. For example, here we are doing irrigation. It's an operation. We will irrigate, and we will say it will use an acid, nitric acid, 30 kilograms, and an ammonium nitrate, another acid. Two products will be consumed in this part. Everything is put in the intervention. It helps us do the work, log it, and later on analyze the cost. So now that we have done this, here what we will try to do is that we will try to save, but we will understand actually. We'll try to confirm the intervention, meaning these costs will be accounted, and we will look at the availability of the two products. We'll understand immediately that the two products are not available in the stock. So we will do a stock transfer in the warehouse. For example, here it's Magasin 2, it's the warehouse number 2, it's for farm 2. So we will take a piece of the product reserved to a certain farm and use it in the farm where we want to develop an intervention. So here, for example, we move 10 kilos of this acid from farm 2 to our farm, which is farm 4, for which we want to execute an intervention today for our workers. So that's what we've done. And here we come back to the intervention, and now we can confirm it. We can say the product will be consumed. We can do it product by product, or we can confirm all the intervention at once. And that means here are all of the resources we will use today. Here's what we should do. And at the end of the day, we confirm, meaning the worker worked 8 hours, the product has been consumed, etc. And here are analytical views where you can see all the costs by family, for example, investments, culture charges, management charges, and you can have an analytical layer that absorbs all the data from the model, production model that we have developed, and put it here for decision making of the group. You can have it by farm, sub-farm, plantation. You can have it by precise. For example, here you have transport, electrification, irrigation, each product consumed, so that you can make the right decision and the right planning, for example, for the next year or the next plantation. And you have a dynamic, a cross-dynamic table where you can also filter by date, organize by company, sub-company, etc. And I think that's it for the demo. It's okay. Do we have still time? Okay. Thank you very much. If there are any questions about the solutions, we will be happy, me and my colleagues, to answer.
How we can have access with this application?
Sorry?
How we can access with this application? Where it's application we can have
yes, you can have it on desktop. You can have it on mobile or tablets for the workers that are on the field, or the workers, managers that are on the field, and for the workers that do not know how to use IT, because there are people that do not know how to use IT. You have a specific type of managers, that is the point-in manager, whose job is to use Odoo to verify their work.
Yeah, they need to verify if they went over there and they.
Yes, if the product was used, etc.
The application can do everything.
Yes. Yes. If he is mobile, he needs a tablet. If he's it's a. Yes, please.
You now mainly focus on agricultural production, growing crops. Do you also think you will expand in the future to cattle management, or milk, or meat?
Yes, for now we are in the plantation business, and we hope to extend to the animals business, to the, yes. It will be very business specific another time, but I think that we can reuse some modules, and namely the quality modules, because you will have interventions and you will have international specifications and standards to respect. So this we will reuse and adapt. You will have interventions on the animals and operations. So this we can use, and we will add other functionalities as needed.
To install this where I can get the access? I need to contact you?
Yes, you can contact Karizma, and we can help you with the modules. The business model is a service-based business model, so we do not charge any license on that. Yeah. You have only to pay the Odoo license. And if you are a client or have a client, we charge the service of the project of implementing the solution for you specifically.
Then we can test before to
absolutely see, absolutely. We can make demos, we can test. We have pre-production environments that are operational. We have production environments, but that are confidential because the agriculture business has a lot of confidential elements.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you very much for your attention and for your time. If you have any question for Karizma, you can reach us at the booth number A3, and we will be happy to give you information, be it on the smart management, farm management system, or on the offshore offer that we presented at the beginning of the presentation. Thank you very much.